This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me! It's,
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Episode 161, submission number 264, the Doctor Who Fox TV movie. The Doctor Who Fox TV movie aired on Fox May 14th, 1996.
It's Doctor Who! Here comes Doctor Who in the TARDIS.
Ron Grainer would be proud.
Yeah. I do like the composition of this theme for this TV movie.
Yes. It's a blend of the old and the new. So
Yeah, and it's actually scored by John Debney, who has done many themes in the past. He actually did the score for Iron Man 2.
Nice. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his score for The Passion of the Christ. And that's all we'll say about that.
Thank you.
Okay, imagine if you would. 25 years ago this week, long before the BBC had the idea to reboot Doctor Who in 2005, they had a go of it in 1996 in America.
In America.
In America.
Okay.
And this was like 7 years after the original series had ended. A producer by the name of Philip David Siegel, who, by the way, is now known as one of the executive producers of 1,000 Ways to Die.
Excellent show if you've never seen it.
Oh yeah, I love 1,000 Ways to Die.
Absolutely.
It's on the Spike Pluto channel, by the way.
Oh, yes. Well, Comedy Central reran it not that long ago, maybe within the last year or two, but definitely worth the watch, even though sometimes it can be really gory.
Oh, quite gory.
Yeah.
Okay, so Seagal was actually working at Amblin at the time, and he actually started at Amblin in 1991. And while at Amblin, he was thinking about bringing Doctor Who back, not as a hard reboot, but as sort of a sequel series, like one of the first sequel series in recent memories.
Yeah, so it's basically kind of like the Star Trek The Next Generation-ish sequel series.
Yes.
Sort of.
So he had teamed up with Peter Wagg, who is also a British expatriate, to work on several spec scripts that would eventually form the script that would be the movie of Doctor Who. Now, obviously, because of this, he received executive producer credit on the movie. But ultimately, they went with a story written by a guy by the name of Matthew Jacobs, who actually did write for Doctor Who, as Doctor Who, the series proper, as well as films like Lassie, The Emperor's New Groove, and Paper House, if you'll believe that. I have no idea what Paper House is either.
No, neither do I.
Never heard of it, no.
So we have the writer in place, we have a producer in place, and the BBC teamed with Universal Television and Fox to bring Doctor Who to America by way of Canada, because it filmed in Victoria, British Columbia.
Oh, big hub for movies. West Coast of Canada. Big hub, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
As the West Coast of Canada could be the West Coast of anything. So they have the producers, they have the backers, they have a story. They just need one thing. They need a doctor. And, oh god, I was looking through all of the list of names that were brought on for this movie.
Okay.
And who were either thrown out or actually auditioned for the movie. Blows my mind. My mind.
Okay. Name some of the names.
Okay. Some of the more known ones: John Sessions, Tony Slattery, both of whose line is it anyway.
Wow.
Anthony Stewart Head.
Oh my god! That would have been awesome.
That one, he strikes me as more of a master type, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. And these two names, I was like, Chris Eccleston,
who would go on to be the Doctor 9 years later,
and Peter Capaldi.
Dang! Wow, talk about like a real regeneration of the Doctor.
Yeah, there were other names like Liam Cunningham, Mark McGann, Robert Lindsay, Tim McInerney, and Nathaniel Parker and Peter Woodward. But ultimately, we arrive on one man. An actor by the name of Paul McGann, who, at least at the time that this was being produced, was playing Richard Sharp in Sharp's Rifles as it was being taped in the Ukraine.
and also he would have been somewhat well known to American audiences because he was in Alien 3, and he was in the 1993 Disney adaptation of The Three Musketeers.
And actually, a fun fact, his brother Mark also auditioned as the Doctor.
Yeah, you mentioned his name. Okay.
Yeah. So ultimately, Paul McGann was tapped as the Eighth Doctor. But rather than just putting him in the TARDIS and sending him on his way, then this actually forms like the first 20 minutes of the movie, which we'll get to momentarily. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me backtrack and tell you a little bit more about the cast of Doctor Who, the movie. You have, because the Doctor needs a companion, we have Dr. Grace Holloway, played by Daphne Ashbrook, who is known as Melora Paslar on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
And she was also Alex in future entry Hooperman.
Oh.
Hooperman with John Ritter.
With John Ritter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she would also be in Cold Case, CSI, Crossing Jordan, Murder, She Wrote, Judging Amy, The Intruders, and a recurring role on The OC. Also a really good singer, from what I understand.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. And also has a child with Lorenzo Lamas.
Oh my god, yes! We'll be talking about Lorenzo Lamas when we get to Joe Schmo, the Full Bounty.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah!
Oh no.
Oh, yeah!
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we have sort of the side companion that was just sort of an extra, but is nevertheless important in the plot.
Yeah.
Chang Lee, who's played by a Canadian actor by the name of Yi Ji So, who appeared on The Commish, Highlander, Sliders,
Oh, yeah.
and 3 series in the Da Vinci sort of.
Oh, the Da
Timeline.
Vinci Code trilogy?
No, the Da Vinci's Inquest, Da Vinci City Hall, and Intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing like 2 decades ago.
And then there was the arch rival of the Doctor, a rival Time Lord known only by his name, the Master. And I'll tell you right now, just a legendary character in Doctor Who lore, and some of the best actors have played him. You have Anthony Ainley, Roger Delgado,
John Sim.
John Sim, Derek Jacobi, Sasha Dhawan from future entry Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah. And Michelle Gomez.
And Michelle Gomez, yes. Michelle, by the way, my money, Michelle Gomez, best master.
I'd go with Anthony Ainley.
I'm sure Gordon Pepper would agree with you.
I'm sort of biased towards Delgado myself. The 70s is sort of in my vein.
Right, okay. So, they have all these really great actors who go on to play the Master. Who did they get to play the Master in this movie? Eric Roberts?
Wait a minute, Chico. Are you saying that they cast Eric Roberts from the cinematic masterpiece, A Talking Cat?
A talking cat?
Talking cat!
A talking cat! Yes!
A talking cat? That's just stupid. That's the best you could come up with.
Oh, that's going to be like the initial entry for it was a thing on DVD or something like that.
Patreon supporters, Beat Island.
Coming in 2026.
Okay. But then there was one more thing. And I actually have a post on my Instagram about it. Brought on for the movie just to die, the 7th Doctor, a.k.a. Sylvester McCoy. 7 years out of the role, he's brought onto the movie specifically to die.
Yeah, and pass the role on.
In the most comical way. And here is what a friend of the podcast had to say. McCoy is a trooper. Started his tenure being offed ludicrously, and then came back several years later to end it the same way.
Oh yeah, because wasn't his first appearance was he had to pretend to be Colin Baker with that ridiculous wig.
He had to pretend to be Colin Baker with that ridiculous Little Lord Fauntleroy wig of his, which looked absolutely nothing like Colin Baker.
No, he looked. We'll get to that part later when we talk eventually about the Trial of a Time Lord season.
Yes, we will. Okay, so all of the pieces are in place. It's time for a Doctor Who adventure. So let's hop aboard the TARDIS and, well, actually, before we hop aboard the TARDIS, there's one bit of business that we need to discuss, and that takes us to the planet Skaro, homeworld of the Daleks. On the homeworld of the Daleks, the Master makes his final request, having been captured by the Time Lords and sentenced to extermination.
And we presume this is the Ainley Master that's being...
Yes. And there he goes. Exterminated.
Yeah.
But he had one final request. He wanted his remains to be brought to the care of the Doctor and scattered throughout Gallifrey, the homeworld of the Time Lords. So on the way to Gallifrey, the Doctor makes sure that the remains of the Master, who, by the way, is supposedly on his last of the 13 lives of a Time Lord.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, not, nudge, nudge. He is locked in an urn. But you can never be too sure when you're dealing with a Time Lord, can you? Especially not one like the Master.
No.
Or one like the Doctor, for that matter.
Yeah. And I love the part that the 7th Doctor says as he locks it up. There. That should do it.
Yeah. Fun fact, Sylvester believed he was using the sonic screwdriver backwards.
Yeah. By the way, this is, I think, the first time since the Fifth Doctor that the sonic screwdriver has been used.
Yes.
Because it was destroyed in the Visitation.
Yes.
Isn't my day, is it? I feel as though you've just killed an old friend.
So apparently the TARDIS gave him another one. And by the way, the inside of the TARDIS is really awesome. Of course, you have the engine room, which in this particular iteration looks like a gothic library with a thing in the middle. You know, the thing.
Yeah. And also, Seventh Doctor has a glass bowl of jelly babies.
And a copy of The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. Because, why not?
And then the box mysteriously opens, and the record is skipping.
Which, the record skipping means absolutely nothing. But the box opening means trouble. But not the kind of trouble that would stop a TARDIS in flight. No, that was, that had something to do with, and actually the screen on the TARDIS would display the coordinates 5752 Rassilon era. Rassilon, by the way, Lord President of the Time Lords.
So yeah, the TARDIS is malfunctioning and stuff.
Well, call it a critical system failure here because it has to land in basically the nearest part of whatever in order to, well, cool down. And it says...
Oh, there it is. We found it.
Instigate automatic emergency landing, critical timing malfunction.
Yes.
So where does the TARDIS end up landing? Chinatown, San Francisco, December 30th, 1999. But that wasn't the worst of it.
No.
Because the box the Master was in is cracked.
It's cracked, y'all.
And that's not the worst of it either.
No.
Because somebody's being chased down by Chinese triad gang lords.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, and they got guns and stuff.
With guns and stuff. One of them is Chang Li, and what happens? The TARDIS lands right in front of Li.
Yeah.
And they try to shoot the TARDIS and get absolutely nowhere with that.
Yeah.
Because, let's just say, better weapons have tried than a bunch of semi-automatics. All have failed. So out pops the Doctor to see what's going on, and he gets shot.
Yeah. Because they don't know who he is.
Nope, he's just some guy coming out of a blue box. But amazingly enough, that's not what kills him. For some reason, Lee manages to get a hold of an ambulance, but that's not what kills him.
No. I'm guessing he managed to call 911 or something.
Yeah, he manages to call 911. But he doesn't die on the street. He doesn't die in the ambulance.
No. Oh, and by the way, they're in the ambulance, and who's there? But Eric Roberts. But he's not the Master yet. He's playing a guy named Bruce.
Yep, he's an EMT named Bruce. And what's the name that Lee gives the Doctor? You're gonna love this. John Smith.
Oh, yeah. He unknowingly gives him the name that he goes by all the frickin' time.
Okay, so now we're in the hospital, and so is the slime.
Yeah, because the Master became a slime snake for some reason.
Yes. And, of course, this is where we get to what kills the Doctor. Because they call in somebody to try and treat the Doctor of his bullet wounds.
Yes, and that would be Dr. Grace Holloway, who's watching an opera.
So she goes to the ER, still in her opera dress, and scrubs up for surgery. And before she arrives, they do an x-ray. You know what they find?
What do they find?
2 hearts.
What?
2 hearts.
Oh yeah, this baffled the doctors.
This baffled the doctors about the Doctor's anatomy.
He dies.
Okay, this is...
Well, on the operating table with Dr. Grace Holloway trying to revive him.
Yeah.
And he's warning you, don't do this to me. I am not human. I need a beryllium atomic clock. And everybody's like, Pete, just do the surgery already. No, you don't understand. I'm not like you. I'm not human. Yeah, that doesn't work either. So we get into cardiothoracic surgery, and we stick a probe inside one of the doctor's hearts. Very much against his will. And guys...
Oh, the master's out there.
The master, still out there. And guys...
What?
The cardiothoracic probe.
Oh, yeah, that didn't work.
That's what kills him.
Oh, yeah. It killed him.
He's killed him. He's dead. He's going into cold storage.
Yeah, cold storage.
Oh, yeah, into the morgue.
Into the morgue. Who's running the morgue?
Will Sasso.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine Will Sasso in the morgue. That's hilarious.
Hey, in 2 years, Will Sasso's going to be feuding with Bret Hart on Monday Nitro.
Nice.
Yeah, would this have been his launch pad to Mad TV, possibly? Question mark?
Was he on the first season of Mad TV?
He was on the second season of
He was
Mad
on the
TV.
second season. He wasn't on the first. That's why I wonder if this maybe was his big break, if you will. His exposure to Fox.
Yeah, I would imagine so because A, this was filmed in Canada. Will Sasso's from Canada, and B, he was credited as William Sasso. So,
but remember, also he was in Happy Gilmore that year.
Mm-hmm. While all of this is going on, Chang Lee is stealing the doctor. Is stealing or borrowing? Yeah,
Maybe?
let's go stealing. He's stealing the doctor's effects, his sonic screwdriver, and his TARDIS key. Yeah. Which in 1996 doesn't look like an actual key. It looks like a guitar pick.
It looks like a heart almost.
Something like that. But by the way, I love that Dr. Grace Holloway. It looks like she's dressed like Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yep. So we have Chang with the doctor's bag.
The doctor's bag.
Grace running after him in her dress. The doctor's dead. The master is still out there in slime form.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that can happen right about now.
Yeah, I wonder.
The slime's gonna go into the EMT, who, by the way, is snoring louder than something that's really, really loud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's going into Bruce.
It's going into Bruce.
Yep.
And because this is Fox Primetime, it goes in through the mouth.
It went through Eric Roberts' mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like a dragon somehow.
Yeah,
look.
It looks like a cobra for some reason.
I don't know why it looks like a cobra. Mid-90s CGI for TV, folks.
Yep.
Hey, we'll talk about who did the visual effects in this movie in a bit.
Now, back to the morgue, where we have a bunch of people getting ready for a disguise party, or, if you're listening in the UK, a fancy dress party for New Millennium's Eve. Because remember, this is 1999.
Yes, it's December 30th, 1999.
Or as this was airing, next Sunday AD. You could get away with that sort of thing.
And Will Sasso says, party on. Would that still be a thing in 1999?
No.
Considering Austin Powers isn't out yet, so they don't know about saying, yeah, baby.
Sweet dreams, lock. Okay, so the Master's entering Bruce's body.
Yeah.
On his last life, so this is pretty much it for him. This was before everybody decided to hell with the rules.
Yeah, as we see now in Doctor Who. Oh, meanwhile, look, Will Sasso's watching Frankenstein. He's eating popcorn.
Foreshadowing. Because something is happening inside the refrigerator. The Doctor is regenerating. And as Frankenstein's monster comes to life, number 7 regenerates to
Number
8.
Number 8?
And this is basically a combination of facial gestures and sort of CG morphing.
Yeah, because they hadn't established, like in the new series, like how the regeneration works.
Yeah, there was never sort of a uniform way of regenerating something until the new series.
Okay, so the 8th Doctor, he busts out of the refrigerator and he spooks Will Sasso so much that he faints.
And he just walks out on his own power, and the Doctor just has one question. Just one question.
Who am I?
Who am I? Who am I?
Who is he? Admiral Stockdale?
Who am I? Why am I here?
Oh, but meanwhile, yeah.
Bruce has undergone a change.
Oh, yeah. But meanwhile, back at the morgue, the Doctor's gone into the locker. Hey, look! He sees a long scarf.
No, that won't work.
No, that won't work.
And outside the hospital, Chang opens the bag to see what exactly he's dealing with. Pulls out the sonic screwdriver. Doesn't really do anything with it.
No.
The Doctor pulls out a Richard Nixon mask. Doesn't really do anything with that.
A yo-yo? Okay.
Okay. And ultimately, he finds a costume. Sort of a Wild Bill Hickok with a puffy shirt. And meanwhile, Chang also finds the fob watch.
Yeah. Which we haven't established yet. It's like a chameleon arch. They won't establish that for another 11 years. Oh, right. Hold up! Meanwhile, back at Bruce's house, Bruce's wife wakes up, which, by the way, in case you don't know, Bruce's wife is actually played by Eric Roberts' wife.
I totally believe that.
Oh, hold on. His name's not Honey.
My name's not Bruce.
Call
me the Master.
The Master!
Well, come back to bed, Master.
Oh, and you can tell he's now the Master because his eyes are green. I'm guessing he's still suffering the effects of the Cheetah Planet.
Basically.
Now, Doctor, soon I will have all your lives. And meanwhile, Grace is with Will Sasso at the morgue. He swears that it was the same guy.
He swears it was the same guy, but it's not the same guy. Or maybe it is. But, like any companion, Grace thinks somebody's crazy.
Oh, but meanwhile, she passed by the Doctor, who's now in his outfit.
And no shoes, by the way.
No shoes.
Because he's still in his regenerative cycle, he's pretty much trying to get all of his senses in order. But he does remember Grace, as she is unceremoniously told to resign.
Oh. He looks at a clock and he says, time. Time.
What's all this about time? Oh, did I mention that Grace was being asked to resign?
Yes.
And by that I mean she's being fired. So she has no job, like any good companion. And she's really smart, again, like any good companion. And she's a victim of the system, again, like any good companion.
And also the person who's firing her burned the x-ray of the 2 hearts. I'm sure that's not very good, sir. You could probably get sued or something.
And by the way, the hospital is thinking they lost the body.
Yeah.
Because Sylvester McCoy...
He's not even there anymore.
He's just some ghost.
Yeah.
So, it was no job, and pretty much broken up from her relationship. All she has now is this weirdo in an oversized suit, a puffy shirt, and a toe tag.
And so the doctor goes to Grace saying, "Oh, we've met before." And she's like, "Oh, I don't think so."
You're tired of life but afraid of dying. And he's trying to talk to her and finds himself inside her car, pulling out the probe that she put in him to begin with. So yeah, fun times. And he finally says, "Please, I have 2 hearts." Turns out it wasn't a double exposure after all.
Oh, meanwhile, here's Bruce.
Dressed like the Terminator, for some reason.
He's dressed like the T-1000 for some reason.
He's the Termamaster.
The Termamaster.
And he's looking for a body. What happened to the gunshot wound I brought him?
He died. Oh, yeah. Well, I got orders. Oh, my God! His finger!
His finger just came off.
Oh, jeez.
I think he's serious. He wants to know where his body is. Or, something like that.
Or at least the stuff that was with his body. In other words, the bag that was stolen.
Yeah, they
He's
were
like,
taken.
"Bruce, you're sick. Thank you."
Okay, so now we're at Grace's house.
And her boyfriend, shocker, has moved out.
Oh, yeah. Shocker.
And she's not really happy about that.
Yeah, because her boyfriend's a jerk.
Half of her Christmas stuff is also still up.
Well, it is New Year's Eve.
True. So now they're trying to figure out how to fix this thing that she put in him in the first place. He's like, "You're still fibrillating badly." "No, I have 2 hearts." Meanwhile, they're still talking about Puccini for some godforsaken reason.
I think it's because Puccini, was playing either in the hospital or was playing in the TARDIS.
No, it was playing in the opera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the opera she was at.
Okay.
But also, he just starts reminiscing about, I knew Puccini.
And he sees a painting of something of Da Vinci, and he talks about something about Da Vinci.
Yes, it was either Puccini or Da Vinci. I was there when he died or something like that.
I remember. I was with Puccini before he died.
Name drop.
I was.
Shh. Oh my God.
You see, that's no echo. He died before he could finish Turandot. Alfano finished it based on his notes. It was so sad.
You have 2 hearts.
Yeah, it was very sad.
But it shows he's a time traveler.
Yeah?
Which they don't know that. And she doesn't believe it.
Yeah, he's trying to explain, I'm a time traveler. But she doesn't believe it.
Nope.
Yeah, she really doesn't understand the whole doctor lingo in the Doctor Who sense. Not a medical doctor or PhD.
Then he says, "Don't be sad, Grace. You'll do great things."
I'm gonna get a syringe. I'm gonna take some blood. I want to know what's going on.
Grace. Don't you see? I have 13 lives.
Please. Okay, you're trying to tell me that you've come back from the dead.
Yes.
No, sorry. The dead stay dead. You can't turn back time.
Yes, you can.
I'm not a child. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. Only children believe that crap. I am a doctor.
But it was a childish dream that made you a doctor. You dreamt you could hold back death. Isn't that true? Don't be sad, Grace. You'll do great things.
I'm sure she will.
By the way, that was the clip I played in the year-end preview. Oh. He's got the TARDIS key. And by he, I mean Chang Li.
And he's trying to get inside the TARDIS.
And he does. And it's
who does he
like...
find in the TARDIS?
Well, he's like, what the heck? And he just walks out.
Because you got to remember, it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Wait, say it
And
again.
he's like, yeah.
It's
And he's like,
bigger on the inside.
and he's like feeling around the exterior of the TARDIS, like, what the heck?
And it's a really great set, the TARDIS interior on this.
Oh yeah, this definitely is not the TARDIS interior from back in the 70s and 80s.
Well, who's in the TARDIS? It's the Master. How did he get inside the TARDIS?
It's Bruce!
It's Eric Roberts.
How did he get inside? And how does he master talking so quickly?
Some things will never be explained, Chico. But he is not Bruce. He's merely inside his body. So who is he really? He takes off his glasses and shows his weird-ass green eyes.
I don't like him look shifty.
So he asks for the bag. He gets the bag. And now he's asking where the doctor is.
And he's trying to convince him, okay, the doctor is actually the guy who stole my lives.
Yeah, he's fooling him into believing, oh yeah, the doctor, he's not to be trusted.
Because one thing the Master is good at, mind control.
Yeah.
Did we mention that? Because that is important.
Okay, we're back at Grace's house.
And Grace is looking at the doctor's blood, and he finally remembers who he is.
He does? Oh, yeah.
Not only does he remember who he is, he remembers why he's here. He's looking for an atomic clock.
An atomic clock?
To fix his TARDIS.
Oh.
I have a question for Chico. Since you're sort of in that business, do you actually like have a microscope at your house, like in this,
like Dr. Grace here?
Yeah.
I do not have a microscope in my house.
Why can't she keep work at work and home at home? Keep them separate.
Because she's a doctor.
Well, I know people who are doctors. They don't just have microscopes at home.
Maybe she bought it with her own money. Maybe it's her own personal microscope. You don't know.
Yeah, that's just crazy. So, right now, the Master and Chang Li are talking about, well, they're basically trying to come to a deal here, like, what do you want more than anything? I will give it to you. All I want is the doctor's body. And he starts with a down payment of gold dust.
Wait, Dustin Rhodes? He's going to pay him in Dustin Rhodes?
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
Booker, the Force is strong with you, but you are not a Jedi yet.
I don't know. But he gives him the tour of the place, including something that we don't ever see nowadays, or that we haven't seen in a while. The cloister room.
Oh, yeah, because remember, there are other rooms in the TARDIS.
Aside from the
interior that we always see.
The engine room.
Yeah, that place.
This is the cloister room, which powers the TARDIS. The TARDIS is powered by the Eye of Harmony, which was supposed to be a relic on Gallifrey, and it's been since established that this is actually a remote version to the actual Eye of Harmony. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And the only way to open it is with a human. The Master needs a human to open the Eye of Harmony. But here's the thing about the Eye of Harmony. It's basically the nucleus of a black hole.
Yeah.
And if it's open all the way, it could pretty much implode an entire planet.
Yeah.
Hey, Earth is an entire planet. We're in trouble, aren't we?
Yeah. So
yeah, Chang Li's not told all this stuff is going to happen.
No. Because the Master always wants to leave the good bits out.
The Master deceived him. Go figure.
Oh, hold up. Now the Doctor realizes why he's here. And guess what he does? He kisses Grace.
I thought that was illegal.
Oh, yeah. This really made people very upset back in 1996.
But Grace, because she's thirsty, wants him to do it again.
Okay, now the Master and Chang Li can see the Doctor, and Chang Li's like, oh, he sees the image of the 7th Doctor. He's like, oh, that's the guy I took to the hospital. And now there's the 8th Doctor in a holographic image.
The new Doctor, he's so young.
He goes, And
then, because the Master is supposedly the Doctor's oldest friend, it occurs to the Master that the Doctor is half human.
What?
The Doctor is half human.
What?
The Doctor... Anyway, now the Doctor has sort of a psychic premonition that... hold on, I have to get to my TARDIS. He's trying to open the Eye of Harmony, and if he does, we're all gonna die!
Oh, and now they can see Dr. Grace Holloway.
Because the Eye of Harmony is open, we're looking through the world through what the Doctor sees. And the Doctor is explaining to Grace about his TARDIS.
Yes.
That's TARDIS. Time and relative dimension in space.
Yeah, but Grace isn't buying any of it.
No.
No.
If the Eye of Harmony isn't closed, the planet will be sucked through it. Because that's kind of what black holes do.
Yeah.
And so he needs to fix the TARDIS in order to close the Eye of Harmony. And to fix the TARDIS, he needs an atomic clock.
Yeah, that's right. So he's trying to get back into the house. And I guess she's calling the police.
Yeah. The fabric of reality is sort of gone all pear-shaped.
Oh, but, oh my God. What does the Doctor do to prove that he's right? He walks through glass!
Yeah, like I said, the fabric of reality is being warped.
It is.
And she's still so insistent on getting him a psychiatric bed.
It's New Year's Eve, 9 o'clock. They have 3 hours to save the world.
Oh, and by the way, he weighs himself and says that he lost... Hold on. He lost 20 pounds. He lost 20
minutes.
In 20 minutes. By simply walking through the glass, I guess. I'd like to do that.
Uh-huh.
Walk through glass. Meanwhile, on the news...
Hawaii, it's snowing in Hawaii. Snow!
And record tides in San Francisco.
Which is weird because they're in San Francisco and nobody's mentioned the tides yet.
Yeah. Well, considering this is Y2K, you gotta think the conspiracy nuts are like freaking out over this.
Go figure.
Oh, but hold on a second. News people are talking about a clock.
So they have to go to the observatory where that atomic clock is, and I don't know, steal a piece, borrow a piece. It's the Doctor. He's gonna borrow a piece.
Just like Chang Li borrowed the Doctor's bag.
Yep. And who does he meet?
Who does he meet?
Oh, hi. Hi, Master.
It's Bruce!
It's Bruce!
And apparently, yeah, they have no time to talk about that. So they're going into an observatory, the ITRA, I believe it is, or ITAR, because guess what? Dr. Holloway is on the board of trustees.
Oh, okay, she hasn't been removed from the board of trustees, even though she lost her job earlier today.
He likes me to call him the Doctor. You know, Freud had a name for that, transference. And Grace is just telling this guy everything.
And meanwhile, bump in the road, and the
Uh-oh.
Master's glasses come off, and he sees his eyes, and he's like,
Oh no.
Meanwhile,
I know this guy.
Meanwhile, there's a traffic stop.
Planet's about to be destroyed, he's stuck in a traffic jam.
And then the Doctor takes his glasses off. And then, oh, what the heck did the Master spew? He spewed like
Slime.
slime.
And
not
the doctor is trying to escape the ambulance with Grace because, I don't know if y'all know this, the Master is driving the ambulance!
Well, no, the Master's in the back of the ambulance. Chang Li's driving the ambulance.
Okay. The Master is involved with the ambulance.
And then, meanwhile, the Doctor and Grace, they run into a cop.
And they basically try to
entice him with a jelly baby, maybe?
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'll let you borrow the bike for a jelly baby.
Then he eats the jelly baby, the cop.
Want to go for a ride on the bike? You want to ride a bike?
He can make her dream come through today.
By the way, apropos of nothing, but as we're recording this, I'm watching the CSI channel on Pluto, and it's the episode of CSI Miami with Eric Roberts on it.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Oh, yeah. Hey. It's so honored to have CSI Miami with the store of a talking cat. Say it.
A talking cat?
A talking cat.
A talking cat?
Okay. Meanwhile, Chang Li and the Master, they're riding the ambulance onto the sidewalk, onto the curb. What? And now
they are. Somebody's desperate.
Yeah. And the Doctor and Grace, they've taken the motorcycle.
So we have a police motorcycle being pursued by an ambulance. If this isn't an argument for civil service.
Doctor, he rides the motorcycle between two trailers.
Yeah, like, breathe in, Grace!
Yeah, that happens all the time in California if you've ever been there and seen motorcycle drivers.
Wow. That's some heavy-duty riding, Doctor. And Lee knows a shortcut to the Institute, so guess what they're going to do?
What are they going to do?
Take the shortcut.
Okay.
It's like, they can get the clock. I just want the body.
Okay, so now the Doctor and Grace, they've arrived to the
Institute.
The Institute for the New Year's Eve party.
Yep. And at the stroke of midnight, they're going to turn on this atomic clock. It is the most accurate atomic clock in the world.
In the world.
And all they have to do is get a piece of it, take it back to the TARDIS, fix it, and hopefully close the Eye of Harmony.
Meanwhile, they have to get past this guy, and he has a secret. The Doctor has a secret he wants to share with this guy to get a closer look at the clock.
I want to hear the secret first.
Okay. You ready for the secret, Chico?
What's the secret?
Okay, you ready?
Oh, Professor Wag! This is Dr. Bowman. He's from London. He was just going to share a secret with us.
Yes, Professor, is there a chance of a closer look at the clock?
No! No, I'm afraid that I am the only person allowed up there.
Really, we can't just bend the rules?
No.
Would you see
Grace says that you have a big secret. What is it?
I'm half human. On my mother's side.
What?
So the Doctor's like, this is where I wish I had my sonic screwdriver when looking at the atomic clock.
So he's just going to borrow a piece of the clock. Nobody's going to know it's not there. Well, until they try and fire it up and realize that it isn't working. Which, by the way, totally happens.
Yeah. Oh, they run into this schmuck.
And by the way, the Doctor's pretty much telling him his future. So, try and act surprised, Gareth.
Oh, and he offers him a jelly baby.
Everybody gets a jelly baby in this movie.
And everybody just eats the jelly baby. They're not suspicious.
No. And jelly babies aren't really a common thing here.
Yeah.
And then they find, oh, look, it's the kid who took your stuff, Doctor. And there's the Master. They're like, oh, we got to get out of here. Oh, look, there's some cops that got slimed.
Oh, boy.
Oh, one of them fell on flat on his back.
They're basically frozen in slime.
In slime. And not the good Double Dare green slime, no.
No. The icky, sticky slime.
Now everyone's running out.
So there you go. Now we finally reached the TARDIS.
Yeah, they got out of the Institute. climbed out of there and got back to the police box.
Yep. And all they have to do is get inside. And where do you keep the spare key?
Oh, it's on top.
Obviously.
Oh, hold up. Grace asked why it's a police box. And the doctor explains it's a cloaking device that got stuck on a previous misadventure.
I like it like this.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, hey. Police.
Okay. Quick! Let him in!
And then he realizes, oh crap, it's huge. And then he just does a U-turn and just runs all the way back out.
It's bigger on the inside! By the way, it is bigger on the inside. So all they have to do now is hook the beryllium chip onto the timer and fire the baby up. It can close Eye of Harmony. Everybody gets out alive. World saved. The end. That doesn't really happen, though, does it?
Yeah, that's a little too easy.
Yeah. In the course of his fixing the TARDIS, Grace might have done something terrible.
What?
Bonk the doctor with a hammer.
Oh, no!
Oh, guess who just arrived? The other guy with the TARDIS key. So now they wheel the doctor into the cloister room so he can totally open the Eye of Harmony. Because remember, he's half human. And Grace can't open it right now because her eyes are not human.
Yeah, because she's under the control of the Master.
Exactly.
Oh,
and meanwhile, Lee's still under the crazy delusion that the Master
is the good guy.
Is the good guy. When he gets his body back from you, I'm going to be rich. And you believe him? Why shouldn't I? I don't know, because
there won't be any place left to spend the money.
Yeah, because, well, we'll all be dead.
Yeah. Oh, no! And
but meanwhile, because the Master always likes to ham it up, he comes in wearing the robes of Lord Rassilon.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good on him, by the way.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks really good.
It looks good. Oh, it looks good. It looks good. Oh, it looks good. It looks good. Oh, it looks good.
Mike, what do you think?
No, don't drag me into this.
Oh, come on.
Okay, it looks good.
It looks good.
I hear Bernoodles. She's like, I agree.
Yep. So now, fully under the power of the Master, Grace is pretty much dragging the Doctor into some sort of, I don't know, Iron Maiden looking thing and forcing him to look into the Eye of Harmony. That looks painful.
That's going to leave a mark.
Oh, meanwhile there's the party.
There's the party at the hospital. The fancy dress party at the hospital, and we have 5 minutes left to save the world, by the way.
Oh, by the way, the Richard Nixon mask, that belonged to Will Sasso.
Of course it did. And the atomic clock is not working right now. Because the beryllium chip is in the TARDIS.
Oh, yeah.
But he's still trying to sell it, because selling it.
What do you mean it won't store it?
They're like, oh?
I don't know.
20 minutes left to save the world. And therefore...
Hey, who's running the security for the clock? Tom Poston?
Oh?
Who?
Huh? Well, what do you mean there's no beryllium chip?
Who?
There's no beryllium chip! Meanwhile, Lee is pretty much basically being sold the opportunity to be the Master's companion. And he let something slip. Something very important.
What did he slip up?
I wasted all my lives trying to chase you, Doctor.
Oh no, he gave away the whole plan.
You gave the game away, buddy. And Lee's just like, wait a minute. All your lives? You mean... That's right. that this is my TARDIS, and this is my body!
And the Master's like, oh, I'll never lie to you. I would only protect you.
And you just did!
Yeah, and then he snaps his neck!
You lied to him, and then you killed him!
He killed him!
And you can't open the eye, not with Grace.
No.
She's still under your control.
Yeah. But then, oh my god!
That's just sloppy. That's just sloppy.
Oh my
There's
god.
no love behind that at all.
He basically forced her into a kiss. Oh, that's
so he
disgusting.
could suck the.
Oh, and not just any kiss. Come on.
He sucked.
This wasn't a peck on the
himself.
cheek.
No, he
sucked the ever living life out of her.
Yeah.
Then he forces her to look into the eye of harmony, and she's like, it blinds her. It blinds her. But now the Master takes his position, so he can inherit the rest of the Doctor's lives to make up for, well, him being on his last one. Grace gets her vision back, and she sees what's going on, has no idea how to stop it. She has to go into the console room and fix the TARDIS.
Well, this isn't good. How would she know?
She's barely been inside of it.
Yeah.
And she's got like under 2 minutes at this point.
And she has under 2 minutes. The TARDIS is about to blow everything up. Everything's about to be sucked into the eye of harmony. And the Master is literally sucking the life out of the Doctor. Or should I say, the lives out of the Doctor. So, it's up to Grace to fix the TARDIS and save the world. Which he does at the last second.
Oh, yeah.
At literally the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, 2000.
Wow, what a coincidence! It just so happened to be at the stroke of midnight.
And now that that's over with, Grace is back to take care of the Master, and the Doctor seemingly kicks him, seemingly to his death.
Yeah.
And because it's the Doctor, he has to go, take my hand! And the Master has to go, never!
Never!
And ultimately, the TARDIS arrives into temporal orbit, aka the time tunnel, and he has to go back before all of this happened and basically reset everything. So he does.
Okay. And then magically, Shang-Li and Grace get revived? I guess?
How did that happen?
I don't know. Maybe when he fixed everything, I guess?
Which means that the Master could theoretically still be alive.
Yeah.
Of course, we won't know this for another
11
or so years, but yeah. Remember, he's in the Eye of Harmony, which means he could very well be anywhere, even the end of time.
Oh, yeah.
See what I did there, Greg?
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's midnight now again.
It's midnight on New Year's Eve. Congratulations, you made it to the year 2000 and absolutely nothing went wrong.
Yeah, nothing went wrong. Oh, that security guy, he got a kiss. And he liked it.
Good for him. Good for him. So now that the world is saved, Lee and Grace are pretty much free to go on their merry way. But first, he has to get his things back. His sonic screwdriver, his fob watch, his bag of gold dust. No, you can keep the bag of gold dust, actually.
Yeah, because you never know when the WWF's going to be in town, and Dustin Rhodes might need it.
Yeah. But rather than open itself up for a series, Grace walks away?
What?
She could be the next companion and she walks away?
I guess so.
That basically leaves the Doctor in the TARDIS, having fixed it, and is free to roam the universe looking for new adventures. And
So-
that's it.
Oh, yeah, but first he wants to know where to next. He goes back to reading his book, and then the record skips again, and he's like, oh, not again. And that's the end of the TV movie.
Yeah. Now, this was actually a really solid story. And Paul McGann proved himself to be a really solid doctor. Because he would go on to actually voice the character in several Big Finish dramas. Big Finish, of course, being the official radio drama producer of Doctor Who. And we would also hear Daphne Ashbrook and Yi Ji So in Big Finish Doctor Who serials. So, there's something.
Yeah. Oh, and recently, Eric Roberts has returned as the Master in Big Finish. Because they did the 50th anniversary celebration of the Master for this year, and he's a part of that. And there's also like a special CD box set of Eric Roberts' stories as the Master that recently came out.
Yeah, so this movie has like a legacy. It is part of a very much established part of the continuity, and the franchise is better off for it. Of course, when it aired in 1996, only 5.6 million people watched it, and a series was not commissioned. And I can tell you right now what the problem was. Three-pronged problem.
Okay. Three.
It was a science fiction show on Fox.
Oh, yeah.
In 1996.
Yup.
You see where the problem was.
Or problems, yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Now, in 2021, if something got 5.6 million viewers, they put it on the air for 3 seasons.
3 seasons, Chico. It'd be on the air for 10 years.
6 seasons in a movie.
One thing to note about the Doctor Who TV movie is this aired in the US, of course, on May 14th, as I already mentioned, but this aired 2 weeks later on May 27th in the UK on BBC One, and in between the US and UK airings, the third Doctor, John Pertwee, passed away, and there actually is a dedication to John Pertwee before the start of the TV movie in the UK original airing from 1986.
But unfortunately, in 1996, as much of a legacy as this movie is, Doctor Who, the movie, is just a thing on TV.
Oh, but hold on, Chico. I got one thing I need to add from the credits.
What's that?
Okay, this is going to be amazing. Mike, are you ready for this?
Lay it on me.
Do you know who was the visual effects producer for the Doctor Who 1996 TV movie? Are you ready for this?
What's that?
Okay, get ready. You're going to be shocked, all right? You ready?
What?
No, wait. Are we sure it's the same one?
I looked it up on IMDb. It's that Tony Dow.
That guy?
Yes.
Wow.
For serious?
Yes. And think about this. This wasn't planned. This wasn't planned that we cover something involving Tony Dow, and he'd turn up in this entry.
So there is life after High School USA.
I wish that there was a cameo from Otto's Robot in this. Wouldn't that have been awesome?
Otto's Robot could have put the beryllium chip back in the
atomic clock.
Out of the atomic clock.
Yeah, can you imagine him showing up?
Hey, did you know that Otto has an IQ of 200?
What?
I'm just saying that.
Okay. Well, guys, this Doctor Who TV movie, it sure has a legacy. But you know what, guys?
Yes.
You know what it's time for?
I hope it's a haiku.
No.
I hope it's an interpretive dance.
No, it's not an interpretive dance. It's time for... Chico, get the sexy sax music ready. It's time to play
eBay Price is Right!
Okay, guys, you are bidding on this copy of the Doctor Who TV movie that I got from FYE at around 2018. See right here? There's the cover.
Uh-huh.
You can see...
Doctor Who, the movie, special edition.
Special edition DVD came out in Region 1 in 2011.
Thanks to Entertain.
And BBC Home Video. You got the Doctor, you got Grace, and you got the Eric Roberts Master right on the side here. Yeah, right here, starring Paul McGann, the Doctor on the bottom. 2 discs. Okay. Now, this is what you are bidding on. You're not bidding on the price of the DVD. This is what I paid for at FYE in 2018 for the DVD. So you're bidding on what I paid for at FYE for the DVD. Now, how much it was worth. How much I paid for.
Well, I do know that you're gainfully employed, Greg, so...
Yes. Mike?
And you were gainfully employed in 2018, so...
Yes. Mike, you got the first bid.
Okay, I have a question.
What's the question?
Was this an FYE that was going out of business?
No, it was not.
Okay. So you didn't pay $1.99 for it. May I also ask when the DVD was originally released?
2011.
Okay, so it may have been sitting around for 7 years, so it may have been a clearance item.
It's a used DVD.
Okay, it's used. All right. I'll go $5.99.
$5.99, Chico.
I'll go $7.99.
You have both overbid.
Oh,
really?
Oh, somebody got a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll go $3.99.
Chico?
$4.
You have both overbid again.
Are you kidding me?
How much of a bargain did Greg get here? Okay, I'll knock it down $1. $2.99.
Chico.
99 cents.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Oh, wait, we didn't overbid again. Okay.
The amount of money I paid for this? $1, Bob.
Man, you got your money's worth and a whole lot more.
It was a buy 2, get 1 used for $1 sale.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I got this for $1.
That's
a good return on your investment.
That's brilliant, actually.
Oh, yeah, definitely. By the way, for our UK listeners, the Doctor Who TV movie is now available on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get it here in the US because you UK people, you get all those new Doctor Who animations with the old Patrick Troughton serials on Blu-ray. We just get them on plain old regular DVD.
And then 3 months later, they appear on BBC America.
Yeah. But hey, at least it's something. It's better than nothing on video.
It's better than a kick in the pants.
Oh, and recently, the Doctor Who TV movie was adapted as a book in the Target Books novelization series.
Ooh, nice.
And also, it recently got released as an audiobook.
I told you, this movie, big part of the continuity. Big part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to connect the 7th and 9th Doctors somehow, and this is it.
Yeah, and by the way, this wouldn't be the last time we would see Paul McGann on TV either. Because for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, they brought him back to basically regenerate into the War Doctor.
That's right, in the Night of the Doctor. And best of all, he mentions all of his Big Finish companions, which marked the first time that Big Finish Productions was ever considered canon in Doctor Who.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was incredible. Hey, guys.
Uh-huh.
Guess what?
What?
Not done yet.
Are you not done yet?
We're gonna play eBay prices right now!
Oh, no.
Okay.
You're a madman.
I am.
All right, Greg, you are really reaching right now. What have you got for us?
Okay. All right. You know, I mentioned the Doctor Who books. Okay. In the mid-90s, there was a series of Doctor Who books with the 7th Doctor from Virgin Publishing called The Doctor Who New Adventures.
Yeah.
And the last book of the series was released in the spring of 1997 called The Dying Days. And it's notable because it's the only book from the Doctor Who New Adventures from Virgin Publishing that features the 8th Doctor. So this would have been at least 1 year after the TV movie.
Okay.
So, okay, let me try to read the description here. The book is in like new condition. It was published by Virgin Publishing in 1987. The book appears to be unread. There are no creases in the spine. There is a minor crease in the lower right-hand corner of the front cover. See second photo. Okay. So you're bidding on the buy it now price for the book.
All right.
And I'll start
clearly
with Chica.
This is a paperback.
This is a paperback. So Chica, I'll start the bidding with you.
Are we bidding in U.S. dollars?
U.S. dollars.
Okay. $8.99.
Mike?
Oh, no. I'll be a nice guy. I'll give him a little wiggle room. I'll say $13.99.
Okay, guys, you ready for the price of this?
Oh, it's going to be like $80. I know.
$130!
Get out!
What?
Get out!
Oh, no.
Just get out right now.
I'm not lying. I'm not making this up, people.
Oh my.
$130.
He's not lying.
Good luck with that. Anyway.
Hey, it's a rare book, and it's the only one that has the 8th Doctor in that line.
Okay. All right, then I'll buy that.
Plus
$130?
also, you know that the Doctor Who geeks, with all due respect, using that term, they'll pay a good price for it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm good.
Well, you know what? Now that they've been adapting the Doctor Who Virgin books into audio, maybe they'll make this an audio one day, because this does feature Professor Bernice Summerfield, and she has been in Big Finish. So maybe one day we'll see this adapted. Who knows?
Maybe. But I'll tell you right now, the Doctor, he regenerates into the War Doctor, and then at the end of the anniversary, the War Doctor regenerates into number 9, just in time for it to strike midnight on 2005, and the rest is Christery.
Oh, I get it, because it's a pun on Christopher Eccleston.
Wow! I'm trying to send a distress signal. Stop talking about doctors.
I'm a doctor, but probably not the one you expected.
After these messages,
We'll be right back. Tuesday, it's a saloon showdown with deadly desperados.
I love it.
The A-Team. Then on Riptide, Murray's in love.
Oh, boy.
But she may be out to break more than his heart. And on Remington Steele, Laura's kidnapped. And Steele gets that one-down feeling when he tries to save her.
Let's all be there Tuesday.
I'm for you, Vern. Big fun, Vern, at the Ernest P. Worrell annual, only once a year fish fry. It's a tradition, Vern. Kind of like great country music on 62 Country WSUN. It's AM, Vern, and boy, it's good. Every song WSUN plays is a hot country hit. Kind of like my world-famous Hush Puppy recipe. WSUN, Vern. Hot stuff, know what I mean?
Last time on Super Jeopardy,
our summer invitational tournament.
One champion edged closer to the grand prize.
Guess what, Eric Newhouse? You're a semifinalist.
This Saturday, he'll face off against champions Bob Verini.
We're hanging in there.
And Eugene Finnerman.
Congratulations, you are the second of our semifinalists.
I'm either going to be very foolish or very greedy.
But only one will go on towards the grand prize.
I have a feeling that with $250,000 at stake, I am more nervous than our contestants.
It's the Super Jeopardy semifinals. And later Saturday, From the Far East to way out west, which contestant will play the best?
The beat goes on.
America's favorite board game is a game show. Will Lady Luck help them run a Kentucky Derby or a Tennessee Waltz? There's only one way to know. It's Monopoly Saturday.
Starting Sunday, a special encore presentation. From Robert Ludlum's best-selling novel of international intrigue and suspense, Richard Chamberlain and Jacqueline Smith, The Bourne Identity, starting Sunday.
For years, I've been eating this healthy, boring stuff because of...
Eating healthy, Stephanie?
The voice. Well, I've had it. I want taste, indulgence. Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats.
But, Steph, Frosted Mini Wheats are good for you.
Pay no attention.
There's whole grain wheat.
There's frosting.
No salt, and they're fat-free, see?
No, I don't see.
Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats. Surprise! They're good for you.
Ignore the voice. Enjoy the frosting.
What New England town is the setting for Murder, She Wrote? If you answered Cabot Cove, you're ready to play the Hollywood Game, premiering Friday, June 19th on CBS Primetime.
Next on the Hogan family, it's romance to rival Romeo and Juliet.
You're here to hit on me.
The poetic language of love.
I'm gutter sludge.
The highfalutin Hogan family.
It's a sea monster mystery, a sensational story of a Loch Ness-type creature. The exclusive pictures on Unsolved Mysteries. Then it's a special wedding night court, but it's a mystery why Christine did it in a restaurant.
So what if it was the biggest mistake of your life? Big deal.
Then on Dear John, when a felon threatens the club, can Kirk catch the killer?
Let my people go.
And on a special Quantum Leap mystery.
Do something! What? You're the FBI agent!
Can Sam protect a government witness from the mob? It's a night of mysteries.
Wednesday.
Episode 162. Submission 1948. At last, the 1948 show. At last, the 1948 show aired on ITV for 2 series over 13 episodes, which aired from February 15th to November 7th, 1967. Or if you're in the UK and you have that weird thing where you have the number first, it's the 15th of February to the 7th of November, 1967.
You know, I had to explain all that to one of my students earlier this week.
Really?
Really?
I'm not kidding. No, I had to.
Huh. Let's play the intro.
Yes, it's at last the 1948 show. Introduced as usual by the lovely Amy McDonald.
Yeah, that definitely sounded like it could be from 1948.
Oh, yeah, it definitely did.
But it was from 1967, so...
Yeah, as I mentioned 2 episodes ago, this show has nothing to do with the year 1948.
Huh?
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's simply called At Last the 1948 show.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
No, it doesn't.
Considering some of the people associated with it, it makes sense that it doesn't make any sense, if that makes any sense.
Oh, that totally makes sense. Considering who was associated with it, yeah.
Well, guys, would you believe who executive produced this show?
Yeah, who was executive produced it?
Guys, I hope you're sitting down for this. This show, this comedy show, featuring some comedy legends, was executive produced by David Frost.
Wait. The one that interviewed Nixon a number of years later?
Yes, the David Frost that interviewed Richard Nixon.
Former President, whilst we've cut the tape and we're not on television or recording or anything, and just between you and me, you know, just for personal interest, as we have to talk for 20 hours together, did you in fact, were you in fact behind the Watergate?
Well, Johnny, to be perfectly honest and frank with you, and I'm most grateful for the money, just between you and me, man to man, as it were, I guess I can tell you that as far as the Watergate is concerned, I was completely...
He of world leaders, David Frost.
Yes!
Why would he produce this admittedly highbrow satirical television show of nonsense.
You got me. Maybe David Frost appreciated good humor.
Or a job's a job.
Job's a job.
So, okay, this series came about when David Frost approached 3 comedians. Now, 2 you probably know of. 2 of them are John Cleese and Graham Chapman from Monty Python.
Oh, yeah.
And the 3rd is Tim Brooke Taylor. Now, guys, you're probably saying, who is
Who that
Tim?
guy be?
So, guys, remember back in the Married for Life episode when we talked about Veruca Salt, that I mentioned we'd have another actor who was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? And then it turned out the Charlie Bucket's teacher was an SOS Titanic. I said, no, he was not the guy I was talking about. This is the guy I was talking about because he's in the scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I remember that scene. Yo, play it. Play it right now.
Gentlemen, I know how anxious you've all been during these last few days, but now I think I can safely say that your time and money have been well spent. We're about to witness the greatest miracle of the machine age. Based on the revolutionary Computonian law of probability, this machine will tell us the precise location of the 3 remaining golden tickets. It says, I won't tell, that would be cheating. I am now telling the computer that if it will tell me the correct answer, I will gladly share with it the grand prize. He says, what would a computer do with a lifetime supply of chocolate? I am now telling the computer exactly what he can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate.
Yo, man, I grew up watching that guy. I didn't even know that was him.
Yeah.
Who knew that computers could actually have logical thoughts?
Yeah. I have a complaint about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, okay? Why is this story about the golden tickets seemingly the most important story on the planet in 1971?
I guess people were sick of hearing about Vietnam.
Yeah, they had landed on the moon a couple of times. So, you know, it's not a big deal. We've been to the moon. U.S. won the space race.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if Apollo 15 or Apollo 17 goes back to the moon? Yeah.
The race riots are a thing of the past. So.
Yeah. Sadly, though, Tim Brooke Taylor no longer with us. Sadly, actually passed away due to COVID last year.
Aww.
Very sad.
But they would be joined by a comedy writer that was suggested to them on this show. And this comedy writer we've talked about in previous installment, When Things Were Rotten, Marty Feldman.
Oh, legend.
Oh, God, this guy. Oh, God, this guy.
Yeah, Igor from Young Frankenstein. So the series bridged the radio series from Cleese Chapman and Brooke Taylor called I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. And, of course, would bridge into what we would later know, a couple of years later, as Monty Python's Flying Circus.
And yet there was one more person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We got plenty to say about this person.
We have the funny one, the other funny one, the ugly one, the ornery one, and the female. The female was the lovely Amy McDonald. Now, I'm not just being a nice guy, although if she wasn't billed as the lovely Amy McDonald on at least the 1948 show, I would still call her the lovely Amy McDonald.
Oh, yeah. She is the stereotypical dumb blonde on this show, presenting all the skits.
Is that where Goldie Hawn stole it from?
Yeah, I was just going to say, she has a real big Goldie Hawn vibe.
Oh, yes, she does.
So while they have the highbrow humor, you have somebody who made her name in vaudeville.
Fantastic.
Indeed.
And she's still around, and actually, according to IMDb, she had a credit last year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Not as well known as everybody else associated with the show, but she obviously has had a career for, what, 6 decades now? 7 decades?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 decades, not bad if you can do it. So, if it wasn't about 1948, what was at last the 1948 show about?
Well, it was basically your typical sketch comedy show in 1967.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very Monty Python light.
Yeah, it was Monty Python before Monty Python.
Obviously. Looking at some of these sketches here, when they describe it, it just seems like they make no sense. Like on the first show from 1967, they are Leave Tim Alone, Dr. Sketch, Man with Skinny Legs, Witch, Restaurant Quickie, Self-Wrestling, One Man Wrestling, Secret Service Chief Interview, Hit by Balls. There's A Man in My Soup, Fly Noises, Treasure Trove, and Vox Pop Public Opinion. It's like, yes, just listening to that description, you would think, what are they on about? But it's one of those things where you actually have to watch it in order for it to say, you know what? Yeah.
All right, now we're at the wrestling sketch with Graham Chapman. I have the BritBox thing on my PC for you guys to look at. Is it just me, or is Graham Chapman wrestling John Cena?
It ain't just you.
I see it, but also at the same time, I don't see it.
It's there, but it's not.
Oh, look at that crappy ring that they made for this.
And also, yeah, this is one of those shows that it has to be seen in order to be experienced, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Graham Chapman very much into the physical humor.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas John Cleese and Tim Brooke Taylor, they are more the sort of highbrow, pun very much well-intended, tongue directly in cheek, straight-laced humor. Which I suppose is why Monty Python has worked for so long.
That's why it's one of the classics. Now, the second episode is mostly not... We'll get into why the situation with the episodes a bit later, but if you have BritBox, you'll notice that in some of the episodes have some segments missing, which don't survive because they've been lost to time or whatever. And on the BritBox versions of the episodes, they actually have, because all the audio recordings for the episodes survive. So to replace what's missing, they actually have, like, pictures of the script with the sketch playing with the audio in the background for you to look at. So you can at least imagine, mostly in the second episode, because there's maybe like 1 or 2 skits that survive in the second episode. So you have to mostly imagine in your head how this plays out.
So this is very much a theater of the mind sort of thing.
Yeah, second episode, basically, if you're watching on BritBox, is mostly a theater of the mind sort of thing. And in the second episode, you have John and Bath, Focky Spainlink, the 4 Sydney Lauderbys, Lucky Gypsy Clothespegs, and Judge Not.
And apparently the only one that exists of the 4 is the Judge Not sketch.
Yes.
Episode 3, we have Flying into New York, Bookshop, Visitors for the Use of... ... Job description, do you match this description? Sheepdog trials, sheep starvation, mice laughed softly, Charlotte, captured spy. Now, mice laughed softly. That's another head scratcher, isn't it?
I think we should also mention that in every episode, Amy McDonald makes a plea to the audience saying that she would like them to send her money for essentially the make Amy McDonald retire early fund or something in that vein.
Or they'll have like some silly sketch. Like in one sketch, like they have like her and the girls that accompany her. Like there's a skit like great moments throughout history in one episode. It's Amy McDonald pretending to be Columbus when they discovered America. And she's like looking through a telescope. It's like, ooh, it's America. And that's it.
Amy McDonald, also known for a line that now resonates in television history, but it was just a throwaway line when she first said it.
Oh, I know what it is.
You know what it is?
Oh, yeah. And now for something completely different.
That would be the line, yes.
Yes, it originated on this show.
Episode 4 features Someone Has Stolen the News. Grubbly and Holidays from the Grubbly Tourist Office. Jack the Ripper Song. Memory Training Course. Word Association. One-Man Battalion. Ministerial Breakdown. The Minister Who Falls to Pieces. Engine Driver Spriggs. And Plainclothes Police Women. Undercover Policemen.
Hey guys, I have one of the Amy McDonald Great Moments in History sketches from this episode. Do you want me to play it?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right,
of course.
Here we go. Conquest of Everest.
Because it was there. Do you know what I mean, darling?
Get it? Conquest of Everest. Because it was there.
Yep. Basically, the Great Moments in History by Amy McDonald sketches. Amy McDonald. One line, but she delivers it oh so perkily.
Yeah.
Episode 5 features Rural Farm, Gentleman Farmer Dialect. The Wonderful World of the Ant. Judo. John and Mary in Malaya. And Top of the Form.
Hey guys, I have another great moment in history from this episode. You want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Caesar
conquers Britain.
Veni, Vedi, Vici. Do you know what I mean, darling?
I sense a theme.
Yeah, 20 seconds. Get in, get out. Deliver the punchline.
And then on to the next skit.
On to the next skit. Italian television presents a lesson to speaking English. 4 Yorkshire choristers complain about television, and an awful confusion occurs in a Chinese restaurant. Skits include 6 girls in Exhibit A, that sounds kinky. Televisione Italiano presenta Let's Speak English, that's not offensive.
Scusi, babidi-boopy? Che cosa? Peter, what are you doing? Speaking Italian. Babidi-boopy? Babidi-boopity-babidi-babidi. Peter, you can't speak Italian just because you have a mustache. Boopity-bapa. Boop-a-beep-a-boop-a-bapa-beep-a-bapa.
Tu sei un pazzo, va via da qui! Sono stanco di te, ti do un pugno nella testa! Ti uccido con questa carne!
Headmaster, Raid on a Crinoline Frock, The Siege of the Frock, Real-Life Drama, Chorister's Repetition, Chinese Restaurant, Bookkeeping, and The Ferret Song. And another great moment in history, number 1.
But of course.
Here we go. Captain Cook discovers Australia.
Look, Australia!
Yes!
Funny. Doesn't look like Australia.
No!
Oh, we should also add that for each of these great moments in history, that Amy McDonald is surrounded by a bevy of, I'll say, gorgeous young ladies.
Yeah, gorgeous young go-go ladies.
Yes.
Which was the style at the time.
Of course. Because Brett Mod, late 60s, you know this, man. Now, season 1 was not shown in the Granada region for some reason.
Oh.
So they missed all of this stuff until BritBox came along.
Oh, those poor people in Granada. They didn't get this.
Nope. But they got season 2.
Oh, thank heavens. The people at ITV were like, the Granada people, now they can watch this.
Yep. And the first episode, after an introduction to and from the lovely Amy McDonald, a doctor gives his patients the hard sell, and the criminal seeks refuge in a library. Meanwhile, Tim Brooke Taylor visits a joke and novelty shop.
And this episode is on YouTube.
Yep. And sketches include Spiv Doctor trying to sell things, Reptile Keeper swallowed by snake, Thief hiding in public library, joke shop, and Come Dancing. I'm guessing that's a parody of what we would now know as Dancing with the Stars. Or is it just dancing? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that didn't really was a thing at the time. Oh, by the way, there are at least some things missing in this episode because one of the Amy McDonald cutaways is accompanied.
Yeah.
With
so we have a script and her headshot.
Yeah, so you can just basically picture it in your head.
Episode 2. A gentleman's tailor has a peculiar sales method. A TV game show has a less than genial host. Rowdy Scots attend the ballet, and a beggar causes trouble at a bus stop. Sketches include bringing new meaning to the word yick, shirt stop, the Osmo Claphanger show, insurance for an accident-prone man, take your clothes off, and rowdy Scottish ballet supporters, thuggish ballet. Episode 3. A nightclub bouncer is made a fool of by a drunken patron. A series of deaths affect a gentleman's club. A scientist suffers from an inferiority complex. Amy shows off her Shakespearean skill, and there's awful confusion over hearing aids and contact lenses. Sketches include the story so far, pessimistic customer only buying one shoe, meek bouncer, men's club, old men dying in club, look at science, insecure neurotic scientist. Oh, hi. What? It says insecure neurotic scientist.
Hits a little too close to home.
Hence why I said, oh, hi.
Yeah. I was just trying to say that hits a little too close to home.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sydney Lotterby craves the test score. Shop for the sight and sound impaired. Hearing aid and contact lens shop. I want to see what Amy McDonald has to say here. Lovely ladies of history, #1, Helen of Troy. The fate that launched 1,000 ships.
I named these 1,000 ships the lovely Amy MacDonald II.
She threw a bottle of champagne.
Which is what you do when you're the godmother of a ship.
Yeah, but it's on a string. She pushed it. You heard a clang indicating the bottle broke. And then the bottle came back, and it wasn't broken at all.
Ooh, and she's surprised.
She's surprised.
Okay, episode 4. A Teach Yourself German record includes some curious phrases. Police fail to apprehend a pair of robbers. London commuters take to piggyback, and a TV drama is interrupted by an estate agent. Sketches include discussion on pornography, Teach Yourself a Foreign Language record, door-to-door undertaker. That's morbid. Uncooperative burglars. Topic, freedom of speech. Program announcement, repeats report. And studio tour, a tour through a live program. All right.
You want to go straight to episode 5?
Let's go straight to episode 5.
Okay.
Episode 5. A man who believes he's a rabbit has a less than sympathetic psychiatrist. The Secret Service is forced to recruit the office boy for a Moscow mission. And a television interview with an alligator wrestler, Ryan Instant, quickly descends into anarchy. Sketches include opening, reluctant choir won't sing hymns, psychiatrist, deadly architectural model, edible town square model, Secret Service cleaner, footballer on trial, reprimanded soccer player, The Pretty Way, Western Quickie, and Misunderstood magazine program.
Oh, this is another episode that's online on YouTube.
Yep.
Yes.
It's actually listed as episode 1. I'm guessing, obviously, it's not in chronological order, but maybe in terms of the possession of whoever uploaded it. Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, but they're all over the place, not chronologically.
Yeah. Episode 6. Pete and Charlie bump into some very annoying holiday acquaintances, and Arthur S. Stoltz, ACA, instructs dancing the chartered accountant. Meanwhile, two gents discuss the charisma of Sean Connery, and 4 Yorkshiremen have a moan. Sketches include Police Banquet, Sidney Lauderby's renewed acquaintance, return of the Sidney Lauderbys, the Chartered Accountant Dance, MI5 Banquet, Dentistry with a Difference, and the 4 Yorkshiremen. And the final episode, episode 7, a current affairs show, includes AWOL International Reports, interviewers interviewing interviewers, and naked ladies.
Ooh!
A train commuter is bothered by a very peculiar passenger, and a man is on the search for a house train charter accountant. Sketches include current affairs program, railway carriage, train traveling pest, pet shop, the pathos of pet shops, and the rhubarb tart song. Unfortunately, the rhubarb tart song was actually one of the missing bits.
They really enjoyed their chartered accountant sketches those last 2 episodes.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah. But looking at all of this, it's very sort of, inspired lunacy. Now, I'm looking at the guest stars list, and you have, like, the sort of people who would be around in the 60s British television. Sort of a who's who of British television in the 60s. Frank Muir, Dennis Norton. One of the 2 Ronnies, Ronnie Corbett.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anthony J., Dick Fosberg, Mary Maud, Joe Kendall, Christine Rogers, Bill Oddie, Barry Cryer, Penny Brahms. But one name sticks out. Playing library in Thief in Library, Beethoven Patient, waiter, elevator operator in the detective sketch, and the end-of-row opera patron in Scottish opera, Eric Idle.
Yeah, he was actually a writer on this show.
He was. And later, one of the founding Pythons. And, of course, in future entry, Dearly Departed.
Oh, God, Dearly Departed. Oh, my God.
And once we get the Patreon
spin-off podcast,
it was a thing at the theme park. We'll have him and Figment in the Wonders of Life exhibit, I guess.
Oh, jeez.
What? What? I like Eric Idle. Leave me alone.
Well, who doesn't like Eric Idle? I mean, come on. He's a legend.
He is a legend.
Okay. Now, we mentioned about the survival of some of the episodes, so going by Truth by Consensus Wikipedia here in the segment on survival of episodes, Thames Television wiped the material once they acquired the Rediffusion London archive, and all but 2 episodes were destroyed. John Cleese became aware of tapes from 2 surviving episodes after Marty Feldman's wife left them to him in her will. 5 compilation episodes from Swedish television also survived, with much missing material being recovered in video and surviving video having been restored by the BFI, the British Film Institute. The majority of a previously missing episode, Season 2, Episode 6, was recovered from a private collector in May of 2010. On the 23rd of October 2014, the BFI announced film copies of 2 previously missing episodes. The first and final episodes of the series had been recovered from the private collection of executive producer David Frost. A year later, the BFI announced the recovery of another 2 episodes from a fan's collection, with one of the new recoveries, the third episode of the first series, to be screened at the Radio Times Festival at Hampton Court on the 25th of September 2015. Out of an original total of 13 episodes, 11 now exist in complete or near complete form, while 2 remain incomplete. While most of the surviving episodes are from original tapes or telerecordings, 2 of the complete episodes have been reconstructed from footage recovered from 5 compilation tapes returned from Sweden. The 2 incomplete episodes' surviving footage also comes from these compilations. The complete audio of all 13 episodes exists, recorded off-air by several fans. And a 1967 LP release featured sketches taken from the soundtrack of the show's first series, accompanied by a 7-inch single featuring newly recorded versions of the Ferret Song and the Rhubarb Tart Song. These have since been reissued on CD. And also, I did link, and I'll put it in the description for the episode on Podbean. There was a documentary back in 2003 that aired on BBC 4 called Missing Believed Wiped, which actually covers the recovery and the return of one of the episodes from At Last, the 1948 show. And actually, John Cleese is interviewed in that documentary. It's a very good documentary, and I highly suggest you check it out because it's really amazing. And it goes through the entire history of British missing television. So if you're fascinated by that subject, I suggest you watch it. And also, we are going to go into a bit more of that because a future entry is the Doctor Who missing episodes from the 1960s.
Did they check the pit where they found the E.T. Atari games?
So that's why E.T. fell into the pits. He was looking for all those Doctor Who missing episodes. That explains it.
So basically, between all of the recoveries and all of the LPs and all of the sort of creative finagling that the BFI has done, all 13 episodes are available on BritBox.
Yeah.
Which is not sponsoring this episode. We just really like it.
Yeah, I actually got a free trial of BritBox just to cover this episode.
I had to start cold calling for sponsorships. Anyway, and they began streaming in July of 2020. But one thing I still don't get, Greg.
Yeah?
And maybe you or Mike can help me understand this. They call this show At Last, the 1948 show.
Yeah?
That's what they call this show.
Yes.
But it has nothing to do with the year 1948.
No.
So why do they call it At Last, the 1948 show?
Okay. Well, according to John Cleese, the title actually refers to television executives' tendency to differ extensively over commissioning decisions. That's where the title comes from.
So they were basically... Okay, you know what? I understand that.
So it's basically an inside joke regarding television executives.
You know what? I understand that.
I understood that reference.
It's just a series and things that make sense, that don't make sense, but end up totally making sense. In the grand and glorious tradition of stuff like Do Not Adjust Your Set and, of course, Monty Python. By the way, Do Not Adjust Your Set, not a future entry because it actually ran quite a distance.
Yeah, but it also featured, as aforementioned, Eric Idle, but also featured 2 other future Monty Python members, specifically Terry Jones and Michael Palin.
Nice.
Yes.
It also had David Jason, which I believe was a voice on one of the British cartoons I used to watch growing up. I just can't remember for the life of...
Well,
it was either Danger Mouse or Count Duckula.
Hold on.
Danger Mouse? He was both!
Both!
He was both! He was Danger Mouse and Count Duckula!
He was on Danger Mouse and Count Duckula, baby.
Nice!
Count Duckula, a classic.
Yeah.
The best theme song ever.
In the heart of Transylvania, in the Vampire Hall of Fame, yeah, there's not a vampire any other. He won't bite, beast the man,
spectacular.
I'm surprised they didn't spin that off of the Danger Mouse reboot.
Oh, with John Oliver? Yeah.
With John Oliver and Alexander Armstrong.
Well, guys, what do we have to say about At Last the 1948 show?
It was the prototype to Monty Python and would lead to big things for everyone involved, I'd like to say. Even for Amy McDonald, even though we haven't heard much from her in a fair bit. But she has been absolutely... She was part of the zeitgeist. She was the one who said, and now for something completely different.
Yeah, that's right. It's thanks to her that this saying would go on to be legendary. Oh.
But all in all, At Last, the 1948 show, 19 years after its titular year, it was just a thing on TV.
Yeah, it was.
But what a thing on TV. I mean, this gave birth to Monty Python, and that sort of humor is timeless.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's the sort of thing that led to, let's see, Kids in the Hall, Saturday Night Live, especially the first season.
Oh, yes, first season of Saturday Night Live is very influenced by Python. Because I was actually listening to Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast, and he had on Lorraine Newman recently. And she was talking about when she was auditioning for Lorne Michaels on SNL, and he described the show as very Monty Python-esque, and Lorraine Newman didn't know what that meant because where she lived in LA, they didn't get Monty Python, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other sort of thing it would be. This whole sort of absurdist sketch comedy. Robot Chicken on Adult Swim.
Oh yeah, it definitely is very
and
Robot
definitely Tim and Eric. Awesome show, great job.
Yeah, there's definitely some Tim and Eric in that. But man, this was something.
This was indeed something.
And of course, you can watch it on BritBox right now.
And also, at least 3 episodes are on YouTube.
Yes. Well, guys, next week on It Was a Thing on TV, we're going to play some games.
A lot of games.
A lot of games.
All the games.
Well, you know what? First game, you know what I'm going to want?
An alligator?
Yeah, but you know what I also want? I want my rock and roller games.
Didn't we talk about that in a previous entry? I think we did. Well, the video game version anyway.
So the first episode next week, yeah, you figured it out. We're finally going to talk about roller games.
Yep, but we're not just going to talk about those games. We're going to talk about games that you can play at home.
Yeah.
Games that you can watch in the afternoon and play at home using your telephones.
What?
You don't even have to be wearing pants or nothing.
Oh, no.
But we're not done.
We're not?
No, we're not. We may sneak in a sort of a mini-sode with a sort of a game of a similar name, but from a different era.
Oh.
Yeah. See, if you wanted to spin this Wheel of Fortune, you would have had to save Vanna White's life.
And who wouldn't want to save Vanna White's life?
Mike's giving me the eye roll, so...
He's
like, that's the best you can come up with.
No, it was more just give it away, Chico.
I can't come up with anything better. Sorry.
No, neither can I.
And I'm not even saying a word.
Okay. Well, so all of those, when they are released, they will be available on our website. It was a thing on TV.com. By the way, all of our episodes are available on It Was a Thing on TV.com, including minisodes, director's cuts, remastered shows.
Episodes. Yeah. I think we're now up to, we released, I think, either this week or whatever you'll listen to this. We, at least at the time we're doing this, we just put up Meow Manor and Lidsville as one collection because Meow Manor is like really, Mike, you remember this. It was a really short episode.
Oh, yeah, there's not much to say about cats living in sort of a Big Brother-esque type of setting.
No, so we decided we'll add just Lidsville to it. And by the way, R.I.P. Billy Hayes.
Oh, yeah, we did just lose her this week.
We did. It's very sad.
But she lived a long life.
Yep, she lived a long life and she entertained generations of people. Just generations.
Yeah. I mean, that's something to be proud of.
It is.
Yeah. But, okay, next week, can't wait. We got 2 great entries and a mini-set. Oh, and by the way, it was a thing on TV, our YouTube channel. Guess what? Today, as we're recording this, we just passed 10,000 views.
Nice.
10,000 views. So if you add our Podbean feed and our YouTube page, we have like 32,000 listens.
Yes, and we thank you all so very much. We would love to have more listeners. So, again, don't forget to share the link. It was a thing on TV.com. Share our socials. Share our YouTube, because sharing is caring.
And subscribe to us on YouTube, because we want to make that scratch.
Yes, sir. How many subscribers are we at?
We're like close to 60. So we're like almost 940 away.
You can do it, people.
Come on, friends.
Come on, we need 1,000. Let's get 1,000.
Like, we want to be reputable YouTubers. We want to be on the same wavelength as Joshua Weissman or something. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know what the kids are into.
Hey, we're more ethical than Logan Paul. We've never filmed a dead body.
That's really the bar we're going for? We haven't filmed a dead body. Hey, we're good people.
Hey, I don't know what the kids are into these days. Hey, maybe I'll twerk with LaToya Jackson. Whatever the tweens are into, I'm do it.
Well, as soon as we find out what the kids are into, we'll talk about it on the next installment of It Was a Thing on TV. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Well,
none shall pass.
What?
None shall pass.
I have no quarrel with you, good Sir Knight, but I must cross this bridge.
Then you shall die.
I command you, as King of the Britons, to stand aside.
I move for no man.
So be it. Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've heard worse.
You liar!
Come on, you pansy!
Victory is mine. We thank thee, Lord, that in thy might...
Come on, then.
What?
How about you?
You are indeed brave, Sir Knight, but the fight is mine.
Oh, had enough, eh?
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left.
Yes, I have.
Look!
Just a flesh wound.
Look, stop that!
Chicken! Chicken!
Look, I'll have your leg. Right!
Right, I'll do you for that.
You what?
Come here.
What are you going to do, bleed on me?
I'm invincible!
You're a loony.
The Black Knight always triumphs! How about you? Come on, then. Oh. All right, we'll call it a draw.
Come, Patsy.
Oh, I see. Running away, eh? You yellow bastards! Come back here and take what's coming to you! I'll bite your legs off!